1965 Shelby GT350. Engine, transmission are out. The engine has been in this car a long time. Great running engine, not correct for the car. It has, from what I understand, I think it has 289/68 service replacement, 289 hypo heads. Unknown origin camshaft. Don't think it's a hypo block. It's got all the exterior Shelby stuff as it should, but it's just missing, it's just not correct. So, over there in the corner, we have a date code correct 289 hypo, freshly back from the machine shop, ready to go for this car. So what I'm going to do at this point, the owner's real curious to see what is inside this engine, as am I. And part of the process is need the distributor, the intake, valve covers, oil pan, obviously carburetor as well, to come off, headers, and then while we're doing that, we'll take a closer look and see what we can see inside this engine and see what it's all about. It's got an interesting history. Apparently, at one point, previous owner of the car, young man, his parents owned a Ford dealership, and he had his way with the parts bin at the dealership, and parents gave him a blank checkbook to buy whatever he wanted out of the catalog and build this engine with. So again, let's see what he used. So far, I don't see anything abnormal or different than what I've seen in any other small block hypo-ish Ford engine. These are the 68, the CZEB cylinder heads. There's the HP 289 hypo replacement. You can see by the spring retainers built into the cylinder heads. I did another video showing the differences between standard 289 and 289 hypo, so if you're not familiar with this, you might want to go back and watch that video. Standard red springs, but pretty jazzy looking red aluminum retainers, so not stock there. And got the same thing going on this side. So let's dig a little deeper. The oil pan's loose, and let's see, we have a 65 block, and the actual date code could be considered correct for the car. Interesting. Let's pull this oil pan off and see what we have inside. Oh, by the way, I'm tapping gently because this is a $4,000 oil pan. A standard 289 block. How do I know? In the hypos, this part of the main cap would be as wide as the whole cap, as the base. One good thing is these do look like 289 hypo rods. They have the larger 3/8 bolts and the square head that you would see on the 289 hypo rods, so that's pretty cool. Pulling the front cover, you can see this has the 289 hypo, they call it a hatchet. Not really sure of the exact purpose of this. Some say it's for the heavier rods because the rod bolts are bigger. I think it's just probably there to help calm harmonics at a higher RPM. That kind of makes sense to me. And it looks like it has a correct upper setup on it too, because you cannot run this hatchet without the correct camshaft retaining plate. So what we're going to do, I want to pull this timing set off and see if I can see anything on the camshaft as far as what kind of cam it is. If I can't see anything, I might just do a quick roll of the engine and measure the lift at the valve and try to determine basically what kind of lift this camshaft has. Nothing really that I can tell as far as what kind of cam is in this thing. I'm not going to pull it out, so I think I will just put my dial indicator on, measure the lift, and calculate it from there. When I started taking this engine apart, see the valves are super loose. I measured a couple and they were over 60 thousandths loose. That's no good. I don't even know. This thing makes so much noise. It was clattering. It wasn't that loud, but the aluminum valve covers probably quieted that noise. So, I'm up on number one, in order to try to calculate the lift at the valve, or actually the lifter, I'm going to take it off this part of the rocker arm. I want to tighten these down to right at 0 lash so I can get an accurate reading. The exhaust, number one exhaust, zeroed out on the dial indicator. We're at 0 lash. I'm going to slowly roll the engine over and watch to see where my dial indicator ends up. There it goes. All right, we're at 341. Then started to roll back over. So if you take the number 341 and multiply it by the rocker arm ratio, which is 1.6, you come out with 545 lift. Now, that's pretty stout. I don't know if I can believe it, but I guess I have to believe it because that's what I came out with. And I tell you what, I mean, the engine sounded pretty radical, although the valves were so loose, it was probably acting more like a cam with 480 thousandths lift. So anyway, that's what is in it, and I think that's pretty much it. That's the forensics of this baby. I don't know what the owner's going to do with it. What I'm going to do is wrap it up and put it in storage for him until he decides what's going to happen with it. I didn't want to take it down too far and make it a non-running engine. Right now it could just be put right back together again and dropped into a car and taken down the road. So that's how I'm going to keep it. Well, I guess it's goodbye to the old engine. And hello to the new kid on the block. This will be going in the car. Date code correct, every way, all the original stuff as it should be, even an NOS 289 hypo camshaft, if you can believe that. Not an easy piece to find. So over the next couple of weeks, we'll be putting this together. Parts will be sent out, and we're gonna have some vapor blasting done on the stuff. And the car will be waiting for its new heart. Until then, I just want to say thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel.